Hey guys, this is Crypto Cafe and welcome to my second YouTube video. Now today we're going to be going over Hive OS and basically everything about it, how to install it, what it is, and how to mine on it. It's going to be the mining software you're going to be using on your mining rig, or even if it's just on a regular computer. Before I actually begin the tutorial, I want to go over why this software is actually so amazing. As you can see in the screenshot, it shows me every single GPU that's in my mining rig. I built that in my most recent video. If you haven't seen that, please check that out. In this rig, you're going to see 8 3070s and 2 3080s, all hash rates that all cards are getting. On top of it, the temperature, the fan rate, how much watts the cards are using, plus all overclocking settings. On top of it, there's an app that allows you to control all of these settings while you're not at home, which is the biggest benefit to this, because if you're not home and your cards are overheating, or if it restarts, your overclocking restarts, you are able to fully control this from your phone, which you can't do that on Windows. You can somewhat do it with the remote desktop, but now if your PC turns off fully and things like that, then you're kind of SOL. Versus with this, you could fully reboot and do everything you want from your cell phone. Okay, so before we actually download Hive OS, there's a few steps you're going to have to take to do this correctly. And the first one of them being is to set up a crypto wallet. So now I personally use a different crypto wallet, but the most popular one nowadays is Coinbase. So I'm just going to explain it with Coinbase, because if you already have one, you could just log in. If you don't, just make an account or make an account with any crypto wallet. The process is very similar, but basically once you make the account, it's going to look like this. You're going to want to go at the top right and click send and receive. If you click receive, there's going to be a little barcode. You're going to want to go and type in Ethereum, or I guess if you're going to mine something different, click that. And once you're in Ethereum, you're going to take this address here and copy and paste that, and now paste that into a file wherever you want, but you're going to need that in the future of this video, so make sure you do that first. Okay, so now that we have a crypto wallet set up, we're going to download Hive OS onto our computer. First things first, you're going to go on Hive OS's website, just Google Hive OS, and we're going to be brought to this page. Put in whatever email and password you want to do. Okay, so once you make your account, you're going to be brought to a page that looks like this. I made the name of the rig for video 1234 for the sake of explanation, because I already have an account. And once you're here, you're going to click wallets, and when you're in wallets, you're going to click add wallet. In our case, since we're mining Ethereum, you click ETH, and in the address field, you're going to copy and paste Coinbase or wallet key that you had that I explained a little bit earlier, and then enter wallet name. I'm just going to name it ETH wallet. And then in source, because we're using Coinbase, you're going to type in Coinbase and then click create. Right, next you're going to click flight sheets, and this is how we're going to set up the entire miner. So you're going to click coin, being Ethereum. You're going to click wallet, being ETH wallet. We just made this. And then in the pool section, you could essentially choose any of these pools, but if you want to follow everything I'm doing, then I would highly recommend you use Ethermine. And then once this opens up, you're going to choose the server you want to mine from. So choose the one that's closest to you. In my case, that would be US East, because I'm in Chicago, and click apply. And then next, you're going to choose the miner itself. This kind of depends on the graphics card you use. If you're using NVIDIA cards like me, you're going to want to choose B miner. Now, the only reason I say that is because if you're using AMD, there are better miners for AMD cards, but I'm going to essentially go over my setup, which is NVIDIA. So you're going to click B miner. In the dual coin section, you're going to ignore that portion, and you're going to ignore the rest. You're just going to name your flight sheet, which in this case I'm going to name ETH B miner, and create flight sheet. Okay, so now that our flight sheets are made, we can go back to the main page of Hive OS and click the farm that we made, and in the top right corner you're going to click add worker. Now this is pretty basic. We are using GPUs, so we'll keep that there. And then you're going to want to name your worker. So in this case, we're going to name our worker test rig 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't matter. And then for the password, I was going to name it pass. And for tags, you're going to ignore that. And for the description, we're going to type in whatever we want. I'm going to type in test rig and click add. Now this stage is very important because you're going to get your codes, and once you copy and paste those somewhere safe, you're going to want to download Hive OS itself. Next to the GPU section, you're going to click zip and download this file. Okay, so now that we have a crypto wallet set up, we're going to need to determine if we're going to be putting the software itself, Hive OS, on either a little flash drive or an SSD. I would highly recommend you choose an SSD because flash drives do fail and overheat a lot faster, but this would work, so either or technically. I'm going to be using this little flash drive just for the sake of the tutorial, but the process of using this is the same, except a flash drive you just plug it in and it makes it pretty easy, versus this you have to connect to the computer itself. But in the long term, the SSD is going to be the better option. Okay, so once your program is finished installing, you're going to want to take the computer that you did everything on and plug in your SSD or your flash drive. In my case, I'm using a flash drive to make this simple. And you're going to want to download a program called ETCHER. So just Google it, it's going to look like this, and download it. Once ETCHER is finished downloading, it's going to look like this. It's very simple. You're going to flash from file. So go to the file that we just downloaded. And for your target, select the SSD or flash drive. In my case, I'm going to be using the flash drive, and click select. And then once you're done, just flash. Okay, so now that we have used ETCHER to download Hive OS onto this flash drive, I'm going to be bringing you over to one of my spare computers to show you how to start this up. Okay, so now that we are by one of my spare computers, we're going to plug in the flash drive. And we're going to want to restart the computer and open up BIOS. So if you don't know how to do that, most motherboards would be basically spamming the delete button after you shut it down. Now that the computer is fully off, we're going to restart it and spam the delete button. Okay, so now that BIOS is open, we're going to want to change the way the computer boots. So instead of booting into Windows, we're going to want to change it to boot from our flash drive, or if you have an SSD, you're going to do that. So first things first, this is a specific BIOS to my motherboard. They do change from motherboard to motherboard, but the easiest way to do this is to basically find the easy mode of your motherboard. If you find your easy mode, it's going to show you your boot priority, and all you're going to do is drag your flash drive that you're using or SSD to the top spot and then simply save and exit. Okay, so after waiting about 2 minutes, it's going to ask you if you want to set up your Wi-Fi. Let me just zoom in on this so you guys can see it better. So it's going to ask if you want Wi-Fi. If you do, click yes. If no, just type plug in your Ethernet. It's going to scan for networks. Just choose the network that is corresponding to your Wi-Fi name. In this case, I'm going to choose my guest network, and then for that password, I made it 8 X's just for the simple sake of setting up the Wi-Fi. And after, you're going to press enter. Now it's going to ask you for the rig ID. You got that when you made the account on Hive OS and set up the worker. So type that ID in, enter, and then type in your password, which in my case I just made pass. Set a rig password. In my case, I'm just going to click no, and it's going to go ahead and restart the miner. Okay, so now that we are in Hive OS, we're going to refresh the page and see that the 3080 that's in the computer we set up is showing up, meaning we did it all correctly. We're going to need to do one more thing, which is overclock graphics card. So if you have a 3070, 3080, you could copy this. If you have different graphics cards, you could look up what people use. But typically for a 3080, you're going to want to use a core clock of -100. You're going to want to use a memory clock of positive 1600 to be safe. You could take this higher, but it could go wrong sometimes, so I'm going to use a lower number for now. Fan speed, I personally like to set this to 100. for my mining rig because there's so many of them, but in this case we're going to do 0 for auto. And then your power limit, that depends on cards. I'm going to use 200, and I could even go 220 on a 3080, and then we're going to go ahead and click save. Now if we go back to overview, you're going to see that the fan is 0, the core is -100, and so on. And that means we have set the overclocks correctly. We're going to need to basically just turn it on. And lastly, all we have to do is go back into our flight sheet and click the little rocket ship, click apply, and right here it's going to say config now. That means it's changing the miner to start mining. And all you have to do is go back into overview to see your hash rate the second it begins to mining. Okay, so now we have an updated hash rate. It is 90 for the 3080. Now we could definitely get higher than this. I'm just giving you safe overclocks. These could be pushed higher. Just do that at your own discretion. But now that the miner is working, I want to show you a few features that I think are pretty cool, which is essentially the main one, that you could go ahead and reboot your entire system from here. If you download the Hive OS app and log in, it's going to let you do all the same things. And if you go back into overclocking, you could go ahead and adjust these to your liking. To just kind of give you an example, we were just getting a hash rate of 90. If I simply boost this up a little bit and give it some more power, like so, we're going to save that. Once you save that, so as you can see here, it is 96 hash right now, which is pretty solid for a 3080. That's what you're looking to get. Okay guys, lastly, if you go to ethermine.org, which is the mining software we're using through Hive OS, if you go to the miner address right here in the top right and copy and paste your Coinbase address or your Ethereum address, it's going to go ahead and show you your earnings. Now, since I don't have any earnings set with the miner I just made with you guys, it won't be anything accurate. So I'm gonna show you my other miner that has 10 cards. So this is my miner. It's basically 2 computers, my main gaming rig plus my miner with 10 graphics cards. It is generating a total of $1,616 currently per month with the current price of Ethereum, but to be exact, it's giving me exactly 0.70 Ethereum a month from my entire mining rig with a reported hash rate of 711. So yeah, if you want to track your earnings, you just have to go on ethermine.org, type in your address, and it's going to go ahead and show you your entire layout. You could go ahead and check what you're earning per day, per week, per month. So you could go ahead and click around and see this data for yourself. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you followed along and now understand how to use Hive OS to mine crypto. I think it's the best software because once again, you could go ahead and use your app to control the entire rig from your cell phone and from, I guess, your work computer or wherever you are if you're not home. If you liked the video, please leave a sub down below. This took a long time to make. I've been rushing these videos to get this information out to you guys as fast as I can. With the 2.5 million views on TikTok, I mean, a lot of questions in my DMs and whatnot. If you are having issues, please leave a comment down below. I will do my best to answer every single issue. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.